Hi, this is Joe. When I made this video, it was with the intention to not only have the spoken word that I include within it and the music that I include as well, but also to have images. And this message has two different parts. The first part being something that focuses in on you could say the negative aspect of things that are playing out. And the second part is something that takes it a little higher and helps to turn the focus toward a discussion about what we have within us to be able to respond to how events are playing out. But the thing was, when I laid out the first half of it, it was uncharacteristic of the kind of messaging that I do. As a matter of fact, what I speak about gets a little heavier, if you will. But I spoke it anyway, and it came out, and it was something that I wanted to share. When I got feedback on the video, there were some images that the feedback included discussion about. Are you sure you want to show those images? And I thought to myself, well, I didn't really feel so strongly that I needed to show them, but I understand that maybe doing that might be just going a little over the top, especially when it reflects on the messaging that I produce. All right, so I know I've spoken about it, and you're probably wondering, Joe, well, what's this all about? I mean, you've got to talk to us about this video before you even did it? And the thing is, I ended up taking the images out of the equation and just leaving it with the music and the spoken word. While it may not be something that's visually engaging for you, it's still something that I felt inspired to speak about, at least when I did. And this was several weeks ago. So in that time between then and now, I was working on the video and just got stuck. And I thought, well, let me ask someone about this. Where they suggested something that was similar to like a muscle testing exercise, where you allow your body to tell you what the answer is. And as it turns out, the question I asked was, would it be better to make this as a video or really just an audio version of the message? And wouldn't you know that the answer I got was something that, in a sense, came as a relief to me because I was stuck. And that the response was, yes, make it an audio. So, in other words, I asked the question like this: should I make it a video? It said, no. And I wasn't convinced with that answer. So I did it 2 more times. You know how, for example, you say, all right, 2 out of 3. Well, that's exactly what I did. And the answer came up to go ahead and make it as an audio. So with all that said, this is discernment. There have been, and will continue to be, many efforts to sway you this way and that. This will be done by the usual suspects: media, politicians, people who have been ordained as celebrities, and then there's the science community, and other religious messengers too. And this includes some in the spiritual community, by the way. The sole purpose for this message is this: keep your radar, your intuition, finely tuned. Dust off that inner knowing and let nothing pass which is meant to deceive. Does it mean you have to be vigilant? Yes, it does. But it doesn't mean you have to be on high alert every single moment of every single day. Why? Because if you've made it this far, and you haven't been lured down the garden path of misinformation or disinformation, then you stand a solid chance of clearing the path for others to follow. Not solely because of speaking your truth, no, but because you exhibit to them what following your truth looks like. And maybe you aren't doing that publicly, but when the time comes, perhaps many will take notice. Of what? Of what it looks like, feels like, is like to be a person who follows your heart, your inner knowing, your truth. So yes, in our current day and in the time to come, be vigilant. Trust what is true for you. And yes, even be willing to evolve your truth into a greater awareness, yes. All with the underlying foundation of staying connected to your inner knowing. Our collective energy is needed to create on a broad scale in this reality. Ours. That's why they expend so much time, money, and effort to get us all aligned to what they want. So we can literally create it through our collective consciousness, collective action, self-policing, etc. And yes, I know that's not a new understanding. I know. But if there was ever a time to stand in your power of creation, it's now. And create the world you want, not the one handed to you by someone who needs you to bring it into fruition for them. So, whenever needed, remind yourself of who you are as a creator being in human flesh. Remind yourself that living through love as an expression of all that is, who we really are, is something you've worked long and hard to do. And remind yourself that your truth is all you ever need. All you've ever needed.